Oceanicod, Wade Blevins, Dawaton, Jalagigantino, Unole, Dawaton, Galele, Jakedo, Kohig, Nug, Skohi, Skina, Jalagia, De Lo, Coste. So welcome. This is Cherokee 3 here on RSU TV. My name is Wade Blevins, and I'm really happy to be here. Today is our 45th Cherokee lesson. So I think today probably what we're going to do is we're going to take some time and we're going to go ahead and finish out completely the pretty colored snake story. And that way we're kind of getting towards the end of the lessons, and I want to at least get that story completed so you'll know it from beginning to end. And so we'll go over all the vocabulary. There's not a whole lot left. This version of the story is fairly small. It was written in 1966. It was written down in 1966 by a group of people. Watt Spade was the main translator for that book. And so then in the next lesson, then I will show you the actual page, and I'll show you where you can find it online for free. Of course, it's located as a PDF file online. You can read it yourself. There's a lot of really great stories and things like that in there, and the vocabulary to me is fairly easy to follow. It's not super complicated, so I like that. For example, our story about Tojuwa Sikwanid, I kind of wrote myself into a corner somewhat, because some of the things that we're talking about in there are very complicated. They're so complicated that even first language speakers have a hard time kind of figuring out, because it talks about things that we don't really talk about a whole lot, in day-to-day conversations and those kinds of things. And so I kind of wrote myself into a corner, so we may or may not finish that story. But regardless, we will finish the story of the pretty colored snake. So come, idalena jalagi idewone. Okay? So we'll read our way through up to the point where we have gotten to, and then we'll go ahead and we'll finish it. I encourage you to read along with me. As we did in the time before, I'll read this page slowly once, and then we'll read it at closer to a conversational level. This helps both you and myself as well, because just like many people who grew up around it, I didn't grow up around the syllabary, and so I'm having to improve my reading fluency just like you are. So we'll do it together. So come. Okay. U wo du hi un cha di ina da. Okay, so the pretty colored snake. Okay. Ko hig chike sangi e he gano hi li do hi ni kan I go huste no u hyo hi he osta agisti galujik sawo iga I a san ji squa ju hyo tlan hi u go heno u sti ina da gan ke no hulti u wo du zhen hi una je ina da u wo du hi un cha di a le u don di ni go te di con di. Okay, so a long time ago there was a hunter who always brought home something good to eat. One day he was walking with some birds that he had shot, and then he saw a little snake laying by the road. He was pretty all over. The snake was pretty all over, and he had a pretty pattern. And he appeared to look friendly. Okay, let's read through it one more time. Uwo duhi unjati inato. Kohi chige sagi he gano hili donhi ni kan go husteno uhyo he uhyo hi he osta agisti galujik sawu ik ia isa ji squa juhyo tlahi ugo heno usti inat gang genano hult uwo du zahi una je inat uwo duhi unjati ale udon tini guste dikanti. Okay, let's try the next one. Gano hili don hino ule wish tane. Okay, so remember we talked about this speaker uses that word gano hili donhi. Today, most speakers would say gano hali donhi instead, because to a lot of speakers in today, if you say gano hili donhi, that's like somebody who flies, right? That's like would be like Superman, right? Gano hili don, he's flying around. So, but that speaker, it's a dialect thing. So, so if I make a mistake and I say "Gono hali," don't he know? You'll know that even though it says he, sometimes I will say "Gono hali," don't, because that's how I pronounce that word. So, "Gono hali," don't he know? Ule wish tane uk toast tane uyo si ske. Dikan di G squano do nane le a si nuen daku Hilan skeno nun do daku na I se G stu de kane he Ju hyo play I go he I na do I gang ge wo do he don di ni go stay a se no ina he ta say. Okay, so the hunter stopped. He looked at him, and he appeared to be hungry. So then he set down the birds before going home. Okay, a little time later, he again was walking with some rabbits that he had shot, and he again saw the snake lying there. He still looked friendly, but he had grown. Okay, so that's what we're talking about now. So let's read a little faster. Gano hali don hino ule wish tane. Uk tos tane I uyo si ske de contino giscono una ne lei a si nuen daku. Helaskeno nun do daku na I se gis tu de gane he chu hyo tla he I go he I nat I gan ke u wo du hi u don ti ni go stay. I say no in a hi u ta say. G stu no u na ne le hi a no nu we se o si o I u we na se no Tle ye no ka no ha li don hi I u go he I not u tana na gu ge se I. A se no u don ti ni go stay. A le u yo si ske ni go stay. Ga no ha li don hi ni ga na de ga ne he u le wis tane u na ne le I not ga na ka wogi. Okay, so he laid down the rabbits and he said this, hello, and then he went home. Later, the hunter again saw the snake, but he was bigger. But he still looked friendly, and he still looked hungry. The hunter was carrying some turkeys. He stopped and he gave him he gave the snake one of the gobblers. Okay, so let's read that a little bit faster. Gistu no una ne le hi ano nu we se o si o. Iu we na se no. Tle ye no ka no ha li do hi iu go he. I na u ton na gu ge se. A se no u don ti ni go stay. A le u yo si ske ni go stay. Ga no ha li don hi ga no. De ga ne he u le wis tane u na ne le I na to ga na ka no ge ka wo gi na gu le ga no ha li don hi ju we na sa we a te huak te a hui anigin dali se he na ku no u wo du hi un cha ti I na da u we kwa chen a le si gu de con ti u yo si ske ga no ha li do hi no u we do li je u ton a hui u na ne le u hua hie sti. Ju we na san no u te gone ya we dinal ski si san I unal ski sti de ge se. Okay. So then the hunter went towards home after giving him a young deer. Okay. Then later, the pretty colored snake was, and then the pretty colored snake was bigger. But he still looked hungry. The hunter felt sorry for him, So he gave him a big deer before going home. When he was home, he heard that the people were going to have a dance. Okay? Nagu lega no hali dohi juwe na sa wak te ahui agin anigin dali se hei. Nagu no uwo duhi unjati inat uwe gwachan ale sigu dikanti uyo sis ke gano hali dohi no. Uwe do li je. He felt sorry for him. Ton ahui una nele ahua hiesti. Juwe na sano utagon ne yawi dinal ski si san unal ski sti dige se. Ni gada ani sanoi uni lu je. Na he you know sanoi anal ski ske a ji le I go tan dani no gi ske juete di kano gi sti. Sorry, I started reading too fast. I was getting excited. Ina da ulu te du wis tane ino go stayed yawe anal ski ska inata no utana ale ganahid du dane se go stuida Yahweh, Ale, Yahweh, Dune nu la wistane. Okay, so all of the nighthawks, Ani Sanoi, Unilute, all the nighthawks came. Okay, and then when and then that night they were dancing on all skis. Okay, they were dancing around the fire, the flames of the fire. Okay, they were singing old songs. They were singing the old songs. The snake came and he wrapped himself around where the people were dancing. Then the snake was big, right, and long. And he went around all of the people, pinning them in. Okay, so that's what this one is talking about. Let's read it one more time. Nikata ani sanoi uni lu tei. Nahi you know sanoi anal ski ske aji lahi gota danino giske juwet dikano gisti. Inad ulu te du wis tane ino gusteid yawi anal ski ska. Inata no uton ale gana hid dudane se ghost duid yawi ale yawi dune nu la wis tane. Okay. Inata nika un chati ale udanti ale uyo siske nigoste. Okay, So the snake all over Unsati was patterned. He was patterned all over Ale and Udongti, friendly Ale and Uyosiske, hungry. Nigo stay. He appeared hungry. Okay. So Inot Nikun Unsati Ale Udonti Ale Uyosiske Nigo stay. Let's read it one more time. Enot Nikun. Can you remember this? Looks like the letter E. It can be pronounced G, or in this case, K, because Nigun isn't really a word. Nikun means everywhere, all over the place, right? In all places, Nikun. Nikun Unjati or Unjata. Ale Udonti, friendly. Ale Uyosiske, hungry. Nigoste, he appeared to be that way. Inod Nikun Unjati, Ale Udonti, Ale Uyosiske Nigoste. Okay, this one. We no unalena he unlena he aniska he. Okay. We no, and then the people unlena he, they started aniska he. Okay. Aniska he. They started to get scared. They started to be afraid. Okay. This word, the way I remember this word is when I was young, people would say, "Gee, skunk," and that's like, I'm scared, you know. And I don't know. I don't really know why it's just one of the things that people would say. They said, "Oh, gee, skunk," and it's like, "Oh, I'm afraid," you know. So, no unlena he ani skai he. Okay, ani skai he. No unlena he ani skai he. And then this, generally, unless it's needed for understanding, we leave that last E sound off there. Unless we have to have it to make it make sense in the story, okay? Yahweh no unlena he ani skai he. Ni do ni we se lei. Ni do ni we se lei. Ani chu ja. Juno tlud. Juno tlud. Gal jati. Ale. Di ga tlid. Uniosti inanta. Okay. Ni do ni we se le ani chuj. So they told some boys, Juno tlud, who'd made galchat, a bow, ale dikatlida. And arrows, who'd made bow and arrows, unihyosti, to shoot inanta, the snake. So they told some boys who'd made bows and arrows to shoot the snake. Okay, Ni du ni we se le ani chuj juno tlud gal chat ale digat lead uni hiosti inato. Ni du ni we se le ani chuj juno tlud gal chat ale digat lead uni hiosti inato. Okay? Ani chujano duni yahe duni yahe diga tli jati ale nigada unaligone unihotle inata. Okay, so again, ani chujano, then the boys. Okay, this no at the end of the word just means and then. Okay, ani chujano, then the boys. Duni he, they they shot. Digat lead jut. Okay, digat lead we already learned was arrows, but this has an extra sound in there. Okay, digat lead jut. So it's kind of like putting the word digat lead and ujat both together and mashing them together. So it's like all the arrows. Okay, they shot all the arrows, not just some arrows. They shot them all. Ale and Nicoata, all unaligone, they all, as a group, unihotle, inant, they all, as a group, shot the snake. Okay? I can't remember if I've talked about it before, but this unaligone, that's related to the word oginali, we're friends, right? Or unali, they're friends. Stali, your friends, okay? You two are friends. Stali, okay? Unali gone. The first experience I had with them making that word in this way is like there's a really short Ego West where that Benny Smith Jagesa used to teach, and it's Ayawu ni hina ginali go son. Okay, and this is unali go ne. Okay, so you can hear there's similar sounds in there. Okay, and in Cherokee, if there's enough of those similar sounds in there, especially in the middle, that means it has the same origin. It has the same root in there. So unali gone, that means they were all together in this. They were all a group. They were all partners. Okay, uni hyotle inoto. Okay, let's read through that one more time. Ani chuchano duni here he digatli jat ni ale nigada unali gon he uni hyotle inanda. Ani chuchano duni here he digatli jat ni ale nigada unali gone uni hyotle inada. Inada no uni so na ne gano u da e si dola ni ka un jati du tle Yahweh. Okay. So, no. Okay, we know the word already. Enod or enada, the snake. And what does that no at the end of any word? What does it mean? It means then. Okay, enada no. Then the snake. Uni so nun. Uni so nun. He was injured, right? And then this, see, reading through this, it took me a while to figure out what it was saying. Ga, because this is ga, this is do, g, and then no. So that we know that the no we can kind of take off to figure out what the word is. So go, ga, do, g. But if you say it like that, ga, do, g, that's like he was standing. But a snake doesn't stand. So I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But if you change that do to to, gatog, that means his tail. Gatog, that's his tail. Okay, well, there are two words for tail. Ganidata is one word for tail, and then there's gatog or gatog. Okay, so that's what this word gatogano, then his tail. Gatogano, then his tail. Uda esi dola, it's like he threw it around. He threw it. Nikan, all over. Okay? So he threw his tail all over the place. So if you can picture that in your head, you know, it just means that his tail was flopping around everywhere, you know, thrashing, you might say, thrashing back and forth, right? Okay? Gato, gano, uda esi dola, okay, uda esi dola, all over the nikan, all over the place it was going around. So we learned that word nikan before. Okay, jati means a lot or plenty, many. Du clan, he killed them. Du clan means he killed them. You know, people. So he killed a lot of people by thrashing his tail around all over the place. The tail ended up killing people. Okay, so that's what this is talking about. Okay. Inatano uniso nane katogano uda esi dola nikan unjati dutle yawi. Okay. An na di skano I na da na ski ya yo wa nega ge se e. Okay. Andiscano, and then they say, and then they said, Enod, the snake, na skia is the same. Yoneg. So this is a different way of spelling yoneg than I've ever seen, but it makes sense. Yoneg, yeah, yoneg, gese. So it was the same as white people were. Okay, so andiskano. Then they said, Enod, naskia, yoneg, gese. that the snake is just like white people, okay? So what they're trying to say here is that this is a story about the coming of white people and what the white people did to the natives or to the Cherokee people. You know, at first, when they first arrived here, they were very small, right? They were hungry and pitiful, and then our Cherokee people gave them food and fed them and went about their business, you know. And then they came back and they saw again the snake, and it was a little bit bigger. There were a little bit more of it, but it was still very hungry and unable to care for itself. So again, they gave them more to eat. And it became so much so that before long, they had completely surrounded the Cherokee people, where the Cherokee people were penned in. They couldn't go anywhere, right? And so then the Cherokee people tried to fight back, but the snake killed many of them by thrashing his tail, right? So I remember this story. I've been told this story most of my life. You know, there are a little bit different versions. You know, sometimes the snake is colored white. It's not pretty patterned. Sometimes it's colored white, which is, you know, a little more kind of on the nose, I guess. But in one version of the story that I was told, it said, in the beginning it was all the same, except instead of one man, one hunter, it was two little boys who found the snake and started to feed it. And then in one version of the story that I had been told, after the snake had grown so large, the village where the boys lived was being attacked by another group of Indians. And so the snake, he said, well, I will wrap around the village and I'll protect you. And so he wrapped around the village, and he protected the Cherokees all right. He protected the village. The enemy couldn't get in. However, the Cherokees couldn't get out to hunt. They couldn't get outside of that ring that the snake had made. So the Cherokees started to starve. And so it was then at that time that they shot 4 times. And the first time they shot, the arrow just went a little way and hit the ground. And then they shot again, and it went a little farther. And then the third time they shot again, and it hit the snake, but it bounced off his scales. It didn't affect him. He didn't even notice. And then the last time that they shot, they hit one of those spots, and that's where he's weak. And so whenever they hit one of those spots, the snake reacted, and he kind of loosened up his grip and allowed some of the Cherokees to escape and to leave, and before tightening back up and surrounding the Cherokees again. And in that version of the story, they used to say that those few that left, those were what we called the old settlers, the ones that had gone to what now is Arkansas on the White River and settled, and that was that part of the story. You know, was that a few of them were able to get away and escape, but then the rest of the village was still imprisoned by this snake. So this is a very, very common Cherokee story. It is a story that I've been that I grew up with. You probably have heard it in different forms, and now you've heard it all in Cherokee. And if you're really industrious, you can study that, and you someday you'll be able to tell this story not just in English, but you can just tell it all in Cherokee, you know, and you can see in there, you know, what things you could leave out, to make the story easier to tell. But this is, again, one of our traditional stories. So in the time that we have remaining, let's just quickly go through what we know about Tojuwa Sequanid, okay? I'll not going to read too slow. I'm going to read at a moderate speaking pace. And all I want you to do is just kind of follow along, try to figure out where we're at in the story. We've told it many, many times. So just try to pick out, usually if you can kind of pick out words here and there, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is where we are. So I'll go ahead and read for you. Okay. Hiolekis hi a askaya a yetli chikatog. Niole ganyik Redbird Smith do don eh. Tojuwa Sequanid do don eh jalagika de. Sedan o jalehe lega ian hi in ulsked askaya. Sawu yagayel chanel skoet skuhig skohi u dene Tojuwa Sequanid. Kohijik guye gwoni sonela du sine o jalehe legon u deti yiska. Klaskin do yogan to do deti yiska. Tojuwa Sequanid u deti yiska yinulstan. Ani kadu wagi ani yawi ya gatiyo anegon. Gado ke Tojuwa Sequanid u skedjik. Tojuwa u dod Pig Smith du don eh. Sequanid jalagika ti du don eh. Oni Smith ani yoneg du no eh. Ase go tlana anske tke se yusti. Tojuwa uji Lizzie Hildebrand du don eh. I jul a jalagia a le a de tke se. Jalagi u weti di stoske da lustane han Lizzie u dod. I jul jukaya leke uwe te jalagi nanda neha du no hi hu ne. Dida na wiske ge se u dod. Nudenas Tojuwa ani gayeleke dini na wiski uni no sele Sequanid. Tojuwa dida tinehi ni da galstana sa Klaskin he hesti ni galstana. Sequanid una sa agusa sam Tojuwa udehod. Noji ayawi ya gese agusa sam. Nulstanan ale uweti uni no hetlan ani jalaki ani gusa ale ani noji dak tahe agusa sam. Osta adelo kwaski gehe Tojuwa. Udanto ale to gamoniski gehe. Du yukta no leji yuk gehe. Sawu yagayo chanelsko it's kusonelsko Tojuwa ani katuwa gi ajistan gestas katugi didatini do higehe. Nahi yujage sanchalagi aneha ahya tohi hangehe. Une gujet nanda neha. Chalaki ayetli udigale yoja gesa. Don pliha unlena una dalena una dalka. Squeeze tani yone gane he. La unelagi elisa yigese. Ani yone dudo tlansa uduli he. Ahya tosti anita lagi aneha. Ani yone das commission uno tlan he. Duni sesti aneha anita lagi. Das commission unduli he ayetli unity stika don anita lagi. Kato uni he negata anita lagi. Tla ani yewe ya yigese. Ani yoneg unduli he duni ne ti kato negata anita lagi aneha. No le duni skolstoti ani yoneg una tehti katon. Tla yunduliske anita lagi yinulstoti. Nigalstanuska ani kituwagi dinda tini dohi aneliske du yukta galohisti unkeuska. Okay, they forgot, right? Unetlanahi dunkeusa aneliske ani kituwagi. Ani gayol hi anuniwe sela tojuwa chitoha ledan jalagi iunadante chikalo sohanski. Utada nesko didadlos digalakti wunesti. Bob Ross, du nae di dadlos di klaskin, ju jeli yigese. Bob Ross udo John Ross gese. John Ross jalagi uga wi yuhi gese. Tojuwa Dakini Waters Ale Wilson Gertie. Undu dale di dadlosti widuni nesti. Dakini Waters di datini dohi ajis deneges skadugi gese. Ale Wilson Gertie di datini dohi nu yuhi skadugi gese. Kohig jagesa di dadlosti anis kwango tana anis kwango tane ugawi yuhi. Aseno John Ross uyohu sele uwej eliske di dadlos dunzeli Ross du datina gese. Tlanigadani jalaki. All right, so that's all the time that we have for today. So from all of us here at RSU TV and Cherokee Nation, I just want to say, well, don't dago ha'i.